Right.
15 seconds.
That's how it is with Jomez, bro. I listened to all of Starframe songs today. Starframe's the group that does all those Jomez intros.
Okay.
Every year there's a theme song.
And welcome to week 2. We are in.
We're live.
So, we got your boy, Colin's here. Weave sitting next to him. We got Kurt at the table, just finished his grub. We're workshopping a potential collab release of something special later on. And then we got Brad lounging on the couch adjacent.
What's good, my dogs?
He's asking what's good, my dogs, if you guys hear. But anyway, wow.
How fun is that, by the way, to have the power to start the pod in the middle of a conversation?
Seems a little disingenuous if...
I'm shook.
It's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of fun. Catch people off guard, you get a little bit
fun.
of candid.
It's good. And it's the start. It's not so stuffy.
Yeah, not like that other pod.
The Pretender Pod, yeah.
I like that one.
So anyway, this is the People's Podcast, Frisbee Touchdown Edition, Week 2. We actually had a name change. If you listen to the other pod, you'd know.
Well, I saw that.
Yeah, but in any case, we got a packed show for you today.
Are you just saying that because your name's Colin? You're trying to say Colin? People's
What?
Pod, Colin?
No.
Frisbee Touchdown?
This is what we agreed upon last. This is an offline conversation. Okay,
We're on the air, David.
We're live.
This is an offline conversation. Okay, yeah. So, I mean, like I said, we got a lot of stuff to go over. We got some fun facts. We got some bet reviews. Of course, we got a sponsorship. Sponsorships are just flying in left and right. We're like beating them back with brooms. Okay, so big one.
Selective choosing.
Some special features, and of course, we'll end with some picks for next week. But first, we're going to review last week's picks. Now, I went 3-3 in my picks.
I went 0-0 with mine. I'm giving you a three-pick lead.
Yeah, and I don't think Stu made his picks either.
I'm willing to bet a nice bottle of whiskey right now that my picks are better than yours. My overall record for picks will be better than yours with a 3-game lead. Let's just do it live.
Oh, yeah. We're for sure taking that one.
All right.
And I think I'll beat you by way more than 3 anyway, so.
All right.
It's
Should we do a
on.
side bet?
No. We're already derailed.
Yes.
3.5 minutes of pure terror. Chaos.
So, first matchup, Colin and Bill. We have Mix On, Mix Off versus Total Eclipse of the Heart, which he now is called Captain Hindsight.
You hate to see such a good name go so quickly.
Honestly, this one is easier for me to pronounce, so I'm down with it.
Yeah. As a podcaster, thank you, Bill.
Yeah, so Diamond Bill got the victory. Both teams in this matchup had subpar weeks, neither of whom reached the projections. Bill won by a 5-point margin. There was a glimmer of hope that I might be the one getting the Monday Night Miracle this week. Steeler game starts. The punt returner fumbles. Get negative points for a lot of the game. Ebron's not involved, but the volume that Big Ben just kept hitting Johnson with eventually overcame that deficit, and I lost by 5. But highlights from my matchup, my team specifically, really just a poor week by my squad beyond Josh Allen, who was great beyond his two fumbles. He would have had an over 30-point game had he not fumbled one of those, but he fumbled 2. But in any case, beggars can't be choosers. 2 rushing touchdowns, or passing touchdown and rushing touchdown. Over 300 yards, which I think actually is the most of his career to this point. So pretty happy about the Allen pick. Ridley on the Falcons actually was the big winner of the week for me in that offense that had 3 receivers go over 100 yards.
And you tried to trade him away for a dud.
I did, yeah. Pebbles, I hope you're kicking yourself. I tried to give you Ridley for Gurley straight up because I was panicking after Sanders went down.
You hate to love to see it.
Yeah. So I'm just shook. Pebbles doesn't go for it. And then thank God, because Ridley puts 29 points up. Other than that, I didn't have a single other position player eclipse 10 points. Charger defense put up 11 against the Bengals, which was why I took them in the very last round of the draft. I knew Burrow was going to have some growing pains, even though he did have that rushing touchdown. But yeah, DJ Moore, subpar week. Parker actually he was 4 for 4 for 47 yards, and he got injured. This first quarter was nuts, and then he just goes down. Fuck me. Mixon, 5.6 points with the fumble. That gives me some pause, although all the pundits are saying he struggled because, well, obviously Burrow's first game, but the Chargers front is really good. Bosa, Ingram, Tillery. Hashtag Bosa bet. Hurst, outside that amazing catch, didn't really do much. Tyler Boyd was non-existent, basically, with A.J. Green coming back. Koo missed a PAT, although 9 points out of a kicker is not too bad. But on Bill's side, Lamar Jackson does the Lamar Jackson things. Locketed, cocketed, loaded, double digits. Diggs, double digits in his first game as a Bill. It was actually fun to watch the Kenyon Drake Edmonds duel in the Niners-Cardinals game.
Murky situation.
Very murky. I was glad to see Edmonds' involvement. And the Niners have a good defense, too. So hopefully my running back woes won't be as dire as they seem currently because of Edmonds. And then the Baltimore defense does great things for Bill against the Browns. Mayfield's looking terrible. So Bill won it fair and square in a game that both teams severely underperformed. Next, let's move to your matchup.
My matchup.
Yeah.
We built this city.
Yeah.
We built this city on hopes and dreams. Sorry, Pebbles.
And L's.
A lot of L's. This was a good one. I thought starting off early, Pebbles' team was going ham, and then it just stopped. So that was pretty cool. I was feeling pretty confident pretty early. I don't know really how much I want to beat poor Pebbles into the dirt. His team just performed poorly, and my team performed pretty well. Like, Zeke is great. Juju had a great night. He looked like he was having fun with Big Ben back. For me this season, George Kittle, I took this stupid-ass gamble, tight end early.
Yeah, he's got a bum ankle or something, or knee?
He has a sprained knee now. And so basically for me, my measure of success, last year I had serious tight end woes. So this year I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do it. And so I did. And now basically my measure of success of that pick was whether or not Kittle can win by double-digit scores over the opposing tight end. If you can do that more than half of the weeks, then I'll feel good about the pick.
So this week he did not do that.
This week he did not do that.
And he got injured.
So super double sadness for Weave.
You actually had a few guys get injured. Lindsey, too?
Yeah, Lindsey with that turf toe out of nowhere. That was a super fun bet. We'll get into that later. But, yeah, it's just a bummer. And also, like, one of my big regrets, like, moments of triggering moments for me is if Chris Carson does well over George Kittle, because that was my Chris Carson was the guy that I was going to draft, and then I was like, well, Kittle is still on the board, he shouldn't be according to the experts, I'm gonna take him, and so that will forever haunt me if Carson has an exemplary season and Kittle has this lingering injury. But yeah, good start for old Weave. Sorry, Pebbles. Your team isn't the train wreck that you have been claiming it is. But, yeah, you've got some tough road ahead of you, I think.
Yeah, there's some light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, Galladay didn't play, and, he's going to produce when he's on the field. And then Robinson, the Jacksonville running back. I put a very tepid bid in for him, and Pebbles outbid me by a few bucks, and Robinson took all the carries in that game, and although he only scored 9 points, he is the guy there in Jacksonville.
We watched some of that game, and he was exciting to watch. There was a play where he hurdled a guy, juked a guy, got an extra 20 yards. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, so this is probably not Pebble's true measure. Although he did. Yeah, we talked about Gurley a little bit. Where, I mean, the Falcons. This is not a good game script for Gurley anyway. So there's got to be better games for him ahead. But receivers do next to nothing. All throughout the offseason, people were talking shit on how the Chargers were going to be offensively, and I didn't want to believe it. But after watching them play against the Bengals, who are not that good, Taylor throws for a very pedestrian, like around 200 yards. Keenan Allen only gets 37 of those. It could be a rough time for them. Ruggs, for you, is pretty sweet.
I'm super amped on Ruggs. Also another injury that I had to deal with. He left the game. Yeah, I'm super excited about his performance when he was playing. He seems very much like a deep threat and just an all-around threat.
Yeah, if Carr was going to him, I think the volume's going to be there.
Yeah, they took 2 deep shots to him early. Love to see that.
So this is a matchup I also got incorrect. I thought Pez would get the W, but I was wrong. So 0 for 2 so far in the ones that we've been over.
I mean, that one's karma for betting against the East Wing.
We don't need to revisit last year and the curses you put by choosing those that you wanted to lose. But moving on, another surprise victory out of the Baconator. I know.
Huge surprise.
I was talking some shit after his draft and the location of his draft. And, I think we all thought he didn't do that great. But, enough of an offense to get the win over Max, who I did also predict to win. So Bacon gets the W. Thielen goes off. I don't know why, but Thielen was someone I wasn't even considering drafting. I didn't have on my board. I think I had him last year, and
he was great, and you're just like, nah, I don't want that anymore.
No, he was injured. I didn't have him in this league, so that's why I paused in my sentence. But I just didn't want to risk the injury with him. And with Diggs gone, I thought maybe he'd get more attention, and so, but he fucking went off.
Yeah.
And then, very consistent performance for a Bacon squad all the way around. Hockencock gets in the end zone, also has 56 receiving yards on 5 receptions. That's a great tight end line.
You'd love to see 14
Derrick
points.
Henry gets 116 rush yards. Doesn't get in the end zone, but those touchdowns will come. And then Brady putting up 20, although he had a pick 6 in there. And then on the Maxwell side, Bacon was lamenting on the GroupMe not drafting Russell, and rightfully so, because Russell went off for 31 points, 4 passing touchdowns, and basically just had his way with the Atlanta secondary. Max got a big performance out of Watkins, as well as Prince Hilaire, someone that a lot of question marks going into the draft round, and then Max sprung on him with the earlier pick than we thought.
A lot of question marks.
Yeah, like how he was going to be. Someone I would have taken, but not at 5. I would have taken him at 8 if he had dropped to me there.
That's fair.
Right?
Okay. Yeah, I remember being like, whoa. I mean, I respect it, but whoa, right. For sure.
Mark Andrews talking about tight ends that went off. 2 receiving touchdowns there.
Yeah, that's a great tight end pick. I'm annoyed at Max's team.
Yeah, and actually, Hooper had a not great week for the Browns, but Njoku was put on the IR today. So Hooper's role is also going to increase.
Yeah, it's very rare you see the double tight end start, and in this case, it didn't really pan out.
Yeah, it's because of Mike Evans was questionable going into the weekend for Max, and ended up putting up 6.7 points. Actually, a 2-yard reception for a touchdown.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. He was being a punk all weekend, trying to start fights.
He has a thing with the Saints. He always fucking goes after him. But anyway, Bacon gets the W in this matchup and puts my picks to 0-3. So let's go to the picks that I got right.
Yeah.
First one was a softball.
Can't pass that without talking about Connor, though. That's
Sure.
Terrible luck for Max. Losing your, second round pick in the Monday night while your fantasy matchup is on the line. That's just
right.
so
Probably
tough.
going in very confident.
Very
too.
confident, yeah.
Thinking that he's going to eclipse Bacon.
Yeah, I mean, this was the upset of the week in my eyes. This was David versus Goliath, and the Connor injury sealed Goliath's fate.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. You're right. And it's a pretty interesting situation. We'll see what happens with Connor. I mean, I've seen things where Tomlin's saying he's hoping that he'll be ready sooner rather than later, but that language really means nothing.
Right.
Is this going to be like a nagging thing? And
one has to assume.
Yeah.
Especially with James Connor's John Connor. With his injury history, just lingering injuries all season long. I think who had him last year? Who had that curse? Trying to deal with it. I don't know, but yeah, not jealous of Max's running back situation right now. He has Leonard Fournette, who should start to heat up once he builds that rapport with Tom Brady, but yeah, he's hurting right now.
Yeah, for sure. Moving to the softball pick was Stu over O'Malley.
I almost spat my drink out.
Before we get into the matchup, I must say that O'Malley's team name change in mid-Sunday to Sean's Shitty Squad was great, and I think probably top 5 team names in league history. And so I'm pretty sad that it's changed already to Cookie Crisps. But
hang in there, O'Malley's.
In any case, Stu gets the W. O'Malley, I mean, we've already talked about Beckham and his underperformance.
In the group me, yeah.
The targets were there, like O'Malley said. It seemed like it was mostly Baker's fault. That's what I've seen online, too, is that it wasn't like Odell being a piece of shit. It was just Baker being really bad. Some silver lining for O'Malley is that not only does his kicker put up double-digit points, but Dalvin Cook, his first-round pick, picks up 21. So that's justification in the first round. And Hopkins, too. There's a lot of I shouldn't say a lot, but I know that Stu is a hater on Hopkins going over to the Cardinals, not having a preseason and going to a second-year quarterback. But Hopkins had 14 receptions for a 151. Didn't even get in the end zone, but still just crushed it. So those are 2 really good picks for O'Malley. So I think this is not going to be O'Malley's true team moving forward.
Yeah, that's against the Niners as well, who is arguably one of the best. They are one of the best defenses in the league. So 22 points, no touchdown. You love to see that. You
Stu
hate to see Le'Veon Bell on the injured reserve.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
I just saw that right now. Whoa.
Yeah, so the Jets signed Balaj today, formerly of the Dolphins.
Kalen Balaj is back to fantasy irrelevance.
Yep. So, yeah, you can choose to pick up Balaj or Gore or Josh Adams, all 3 of which are probably terrible options because the Jets are pretty
terrible,
hapless.
But dude, Frank Gore, that dude just can keep churning. He turns yards out like butter.
I think he scored like 2 points last week.
I think he outscored Le'Veon Bell. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah,
right
look
now.
it up.
5.6.
So some podcast math.
Mm-hmm.
While Weaver's looking, I'll talk about Stu's team a little bit. Watson puts up 20.
Incorrect. Frank Gore put up 2.4.
Yeah,
damn it.
He's not churning anything. McCaffrey has a great week for Stu, number 1 overall pick, putting up 20, almost 27 points, 2 rushing touchdowns. That actually was super fun to see McCaffrey and Josh Jacobs go back and forth, kind of swinging haymakers in that Raider-Panther game. Chris Carson, there's your boy we're talking about, also had 2 touchdowns. The Seahawks look really good. I mean, they just shat on the Falcons. I'm interested to see them play like the Niners, or another high-caliber NFC
those
team.
games are always so good.
Yeah.
Isn't that coming up this weekend? Who do they have?
They are playing New England.
New England, yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, they don't play the Niners until way late.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just meant to say like a real
good game,
real good team. Yeah, we'll see what Bill Belichick schemes up.
Miller, the Chicago receiver. Actually, Stu had both Chicago receiver going. Miller outscores Robinson. I actually read today that Robinson may have requested a trade in the midst of the Bears GM not honoring his request for a new contract. Although Robinson is his last year of his contract, or might have an additional year. But in any case, he's a disgruntled player right now. And so that is something to keep note of, whether he gets benched or traded to some other team. So his usage could change.
Yeah, he did the Giannis Ante Okumpupu unfollow all my teammates.
The bosom.
Yeah, he's the bosom.
So, yeah, good victory by Stu, although I'm sure he hoped some of his other guys would have contributed more. I mean, he got 2 points out of his kicker, got 6 points out of Brown from Tennessee, who actually, Corey Davis was looking like the one who was the focal point.
Yeah.
At least last night against the Broncos.
It looked like Brown was hurting. Every time he got tackled, it took forever to get back up again. Maybe he was just really tired.
Yeah, but in any case, it's a victory for Stu, and it's a correct pick for Gall. So next matchup, we can go over the men's Zerling versus Dak Prescott. Again, great team name, Scott.
Drubbing. Not the biggest margin of victory, though.
We'll get there.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. So Brad puts up 156. Has a great week all around. Lots of contributions from everyone except for his namesake and T.Y. Hilton. Although 7.3 is not terrible. Pretty sure that's more than a majority of my receivers put up. But anyway, Rodgers, 4 passing touchdowns, putting up 31 points. Ridiculous. Godwin, double digits, not finding the end zone, but still getting 6 receptions for almost 80. It's great. Fuller looks like the number one in Houston. That was kind of disheartening to me watching his usage against Cooks' usage. Not that I thought that Cooks would eclipse Fuller, because I know him and Watson have that chemistry, but Cooks had a really pedestrian line, and Fuller seemed that he was getting all the targets, and then Cooks, of course, is banged up. Shocker.
Yeah.
So
before the season, Fuller was like a boomer bust, right? Like in years past, he's like 4 receptions, 140 yards, or like 2 receptions and 90 yards and 2 touchdowns, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think when he plays, he produces. I think the injury risk is the biggest thing for him. Like, if you could guarantee a full season out of Fuller, he shoots up draft boards, right? Yeah, and then both Brad's running backs, Kamara and Mostert, go off too. I mean, Brad just had a phenomenal week. This is the week you want every week,
Every week.
Just lots of score notifications. You're feeling good.
God, those scoring notifications. Is there a better feeling? Like, not non-sexual better feeling?
I can tell you.
What it is?
I can tell you the opposite, where it's like 3/4 of the way through the first round, and you've had 0 score notifications.
Tapping your toes,
you're like, what is going on with my fucking squad?
Trying to drink your team to victory. It's not working.
On the Scott side, so Julio Jones, monster game, 157 on 9 receptions. Prescott puts up 17. The Rams, actually, that front was really good, watching them last night. But New Orleans defense against Tampa Bay, 17 points. 2 intersections, including a pick 6 against Brady and 3 sacks. That was huge. This is actually pretty interesting to me to see if they can, if that's like a defense level that they are, or if it was just a shitty game for a quarterback, right? Like, they play the Raiders next week.
I think that New Orleans historically has a very good defense. I think that it's here to stay.
I mean, sometimes they do get into shootouts, though, like those high-scoring games.
Right. It's true.
So, but anyway, 17 points, that's huge for Scott. Bad news, though, is Michael Thomas went on the I don't know if he went on the IR, but he definitely is seen as being out for weeks. Missed several weeks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Super tough. This is another, like, you hate to love to see it. We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it now.
Right.
But it's just like,
throw it in.
first round pick. You hate to see somebody lose their first round pick, but you love that it's not your first round pick.
That's exactly right.
Just like super shitty for Scott. Hopefully he can recover from this, but that's a huge blow to your fantasy team.
Yeah, and let's see. On Scott's bench, he's got Curtis Samuel and Golden Tate. Golden Tate did not play. He was scratched. Samuel, 5 receptions, 38 yards and then 5 rushing yards. So Samuel could get more involved in the action there for Carolina, but
he's light on receiver. It's tough.
You can't
replace first
round pick. Yeah, exactly.
Especially Michael Thomas.
Yeah,
in the receiver slot.
Him and Devontae were like the 1A, 1B receivers in the draft.
That's just, you hate to love to see it.
So anyway, Brad gets the money and the win, and Gall gets the correct pick in that one.
That was a fun little mini story Monday night with me, the three-headed monster, me, Adam, and Brad all vying for the money. It was pretty cool. And actually, I went back. This was the lowest high score for the league in 3 years.
Wow. No
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
The past 2 years, the high scores were 183 and like 178. So it was like a substantial difference as well.
Damn, I wonder why that is.
We're all getting better at drafting.
Are we getting better? Or are the players the players not ready or something, wow, that's a cool stat. But yeah, get into our last matchup here of this past week. We had Rent Tent Wentz versus We Demand a Chubbery.
A Chubbery!
Again, great name, Ev.
You know what's so sad? You love this name, but I haven't seen whatever movie this is.
Monty Python, the Holy Grail?
Yeah, I haven't seen Monty Python.
You need to get super stoned and watch it. You will laugh your ass off.
I'm certain I will.
Yes,
it's unanimously a great film, but I haven't seen it, and so I was just like, what the fuck? This name is terrible.
Your appreciation will grow.
Yeah, no, it's just so like
watching it.
Gnarly how if you have to know that little big piece of information. Sorry, tangent.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And actually, I want to go back a little bit. So the biggest blowout was you against Pebs.
Yeah,
I thought it was the Adam over Evan matchup.
Nope.
I actually didn't even pay attention to that. So yes, Weaver beat Pebbles by 49 points, which was the biggest blowout. Weaver beating Pebbles was the biggest blowout by 49 points.
Yeah, 3 more points than Sones over Scotty.
So this is the classic hang with him for Evan, putting up 131, which was higher than many teams scored. Actually, if we do a quick count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 teams scored less than Evan did.
Tough.
And he took the L. So, I mean, I think I was talking with Weaver during Sunday, and it sucks to take that loss, but every point matters, right? So this is still going to set up Evan. I mean, if his team is going to put up 131 or even close to that, eclipsing his projection, that's going to be long-term success. You just happen to come up against a phenomenal week in Adam.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs isn't going to put up 33 points every week.
Right.
Devontae Adams isn't going to put up 34 every week.
Right. I mean, this is a glorious week for Adam. You had 2 players putting up 30 points. Wentz shat the bed, so actually it's good for some other players to be picking up the slack. But then even like David Johnson on Thursday night, we were all wondering how he was going to be on the Texans. And Bill O'Brien was feeding in the rock.
Mm-hmm. He was a question mark heading into the week.
Melvin Gordon, even with the fumble last night, still had 78 yards and a rushing touchdown. I know I spoke about this in the last pod, but I really liked that pick. And Gordon was someone who I was hoping to slot into my flex as Adam is doing now.
That number could be inflated, though. 1A, 1B, until Lindsey, 1B, got hurt.
Yeah, but the Titans have a good defense.
They have a great defense.
Even if it was inflated, even if he gets a few more carries because Lindsey is out in the second half, that's still a very good defense.
Very true.
And on Evan's side, Mahomes puts up 20, which, I mean, if you have Mahomes, you're probably expecting more than 20 points, I got to be honest.
Yeah, you're happy with 20, but a little bit like the greedy side of you is all right, come on.
I mean, you draft Mahomes to score 25.
Yeah.
There's so many. I bet you there are like 6 or 7 quarterbacks on the waiver wire that put up more than Mahomes did this week.
I'll look it up right now.
Slayton, though, that's huge. 2 receiving touchdowns and 102 yards. He definitely hit the jackpot for there. Him and Danny Dimes. Yeah, but yeah, let's see. How many? No, you got to waiver. This is everyone. You got to do it only free agents.
All players.
Oh, I was going to say the ones that are you could just pick up off the waiver wire. That way you've done better.
We got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Four that scored over 20. Yeah. Oh, okay. Including Minshew Mania. Chubb only putting up 5 points, though. You hate to see that if you're Evan, that first round pick. You should demand more from the Chubbery for sure, Evan.
Dude, guess who was the number 7 QB last week?
Oh, God, it's a super random
You're
number.
never going to get it. Mitchell Trubisky.
Oh, Trubisky. Yeah. So that was so funny. That game was like 6-6 through the first quarter or the first half or something, and then the second half was just like touchdown pass.
Yeah.
That was super tough, actually, watching Swift to the Lions drop that go-ahead touchdown pass in the end zone, and they end up losing. Yeah, that's rough for a rook. Classic Henry Rookham.
Super rough.
Something that was rough for Evan is Minnesota defense getting -4. They went up against the fucking buzzsaw Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that's super tough. Minnesota's a great defense. They should produce.
Yeah, for sure. Who do they
throughout the season? But man,
have next week?
-4.
Dude, if you get negative from any player, that fucking sucks.
If you get single digits from any player, that fucking sucks.
Minnesota defense has Philly Riv and the Colts next week. Rivers
sacks.
threw 2 picks.
Philip Givers, yeah. I was saying this in real time, but I really loved Evans' draft, and it's only confirmed watching Darius Slayton just be the target fiend in the Giants.
Right.
That's his 3rd wide receiver, and arguably his 4th. Like Robbie Anderson and Darius Slayton both are clearly number 1s on their teams.
Well, I wouldn't say clearly. Robbie Anderson had the 75-yard touchdown. That's why.
True, but they were like drawing plays up for him and stuff like that. That was DJ Moore last year.
I mean, Moore had more targets. We can agree to disagree. I was upset with Moore.
For sure, yeah.
But I was going to say, before we move on, yeah, Robbie Anderson, that's like a diamond in the rough. He's someone that I was writing off as like a cast-off from the Jets.
Totally.
And then Amari Cooper, that's great. I mean, I had Cooper last year having 10 receptions. That's phenomenal. I was watching closely the Rams Cowboys because of Gallup. Bill has Gallup when I was playing against him. And Cooper was still seemed like the guy that Dak went to.
10 receptions with like 3 or 4 drops.
Yeah.
Too. I
remember him getting hit going across the point.
Not even looking.
Just getting hit by the football.
Yeah, we joked about that.
But yeah, so Adam won in the barn burner of this matchup. That's the last pick that I got correct. So overall, 3-3 for my week. Any more musings before we move on to more?
I'm just so stoked that football is back. I think we had a great day of banter. I know that we had a great day here watching as much as we did. I hope it's here to stay.
Cheers to that.
Yeah. Cheers, baby.
That was really unsatisfying. Okay, so a few fun facts coming at you.
I'm gonna refill while you do these. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, please. Okay, so fun fact number one. Quarterbacks that led their team in rushing this past week. Daniel Jones led the Giants. Lamar Jackson led the Ravens in rushing. Russell Wilson led the Seahawks in rushing. Although Carson had a huge night, his 2 touchdowns were of the reception variety. Josh Allen, my boy, led the Bills. Cam Newton, also my boy, available via trade request, I may say, led the Patriots, and Kyler Murray led the Cardinals. So that's interesting to me. 6 quarterbacks led their teams over this last weekend in rushing. Another fun fact, something that I'm going to be chronicling over the entire season, and something that we've kind of tossed back and forth, and I'm not sure to the extent or how deep I'm going to dive with it, but I'm going to keep track of who meets their projections every week. And so this week, only 5 of us, 5 of 12 people met their projections. Weaver, Bacon, Evan, Adam, and Brad either met or eclipsed their projections. Everybody else, we failed to hit those projections. Something else. So moving on, we already have a laundry list of bets that I want to get into. Of course, the hashtag Bosa bet we're re-upping. So we got Big Bosa with 1 sack, Baby Bosa with 0 sacks. So Gall has an early lead on that one.
Oh, boo!
That's right. Gall's got the early lead, and it's going to run away with it because although this is some hashtag podcast math by Pebbles on the group me.
Oh, man, that was bad.
The most elusive. We got 2 of the most elusive quarterbacks in the game in our division who also take some of the most sacks in all of football.
Yeah. Yeah, that was weird. You argued with yourself. You presented an oxymoron.
So anyway, Bosa bet's going, and Gall is still waiting for the previous 6-pack he won.
That's simply not true, you fucker.
I have no memory of this. Wait.
Yes, you do.
So anyway, the next bet we're going to talk about is Chicken Ranch Bill. We don't need to dive too deep into it, but we'll be keeping a close eye. I know Stu and I were texting, and he was hoping that I would take down Chicken Ranch Bill. I did not. The Gordon versus Lindsay shot bet, that was pretty fun. I love these like side bets. I would love for us to do something like that weekly. They're just super fun, and honestly, it made watching those games last night more fun for me after losing my matchup. It kept me in it, right? So that was really cool. Over the weekend, Stu lost not 1 but 2 shotgun bets. Stu, two-time shotgun bet loser of the weekend. He lost 1 to Bacon, and he lost 1 to Adam. So, has he actually done Bacon shotgun? I don't remember seeing the evidence of that on
today.
Did he?
No. I don't remember seeing
it
today.
Yeah, no. So we're waiting for that shotgun, Stu.
Yep. Pretender pod.
And then I added during this podcast was Weaver and mine's pick bet over the year, where I now have a 3-pick lead.
Handicap.
And it's not a handicap. Whatever. It's just bad on you for not making picks this last week. And it's a nice bottle of whiskey is what we are betting.
Yeah, baby.
Bottle of whiskey. Speaking of whiskey, we had some whiskey last night. Really, the bouquet over the cubes of ice was really nice.
Yeah. Kurt really was digging those bouquets.
Yeah, we had a great time. Great weekend at the U watching football.
Great weekend.
Some things that I generally liked over this past weekend, I only put down 2 because there's a lot more in other subsections of this podcast, but basically Sean's shitty squad. I really hope that name comes back. I mean, God, it's so good. Yeah, we don't need to really spend much more time on it beyond the fact that that was phenomenal.
He literally was giggling on the couch when he saw it the first time. He got the giggles.
And then after that, I loved all of us going for the fake news Snapchat streak of fucking Jerry Jones. Yeah, that was really fun. It was cool. I mean, obviously, we're sending drinking snaps back and forth all day, every day, but just all of us jumping on the bandwagon that was started by a drunk Stu. That was fun.
Hell yeah. And I actually, speaking of drunk Stu, something that I really liked was Stu's shot out of his trophy. That was super sick. I'm gonna keep riding that train, Stu. I love it. Every single time you do it, I'm gonna like whatever you're sending my way. It's great. Great content.
You know what it is? H.
Oh yeah, it was very H.
Very H.
The way he just opens up that throat and gobbles down that whiskey.
Oh my god.
That blowjob shot, yeah.
My word.
He pretends to not like it too, but you know he does.
Oh, I hate this. I guess I'll do another one.
I guess I'll break.
Oh god, no. I would hate that. Remember when Stu was all about that? Oh, I would hate if you.
I would hate having
if you put me in a cardboard box and stuck your dick in a hole. I would hate that.
Wow. Oh my god. All right. And that brings us to our first sponsorship of the evening.
Oh.
It's Tuesday night. Half of the fantasy world is suffering from the blues. Getting walked by your week 1 rival isn't the end of your season, and we want you to know you're not alone. Grab a glass, some ice, and a buddy to release the bouquet of Johnny Walker Blue Label to restart your fantasy season.
Wow.
Johnny Walker, baby.
Gotta go buy a bottle right now.
That's a pretty high quality sponsor we got.
It's $200 a bottle.
Yeah, that was phenomenal. We actually were sipping on some Blue Label last night. Shout out Bako for that gift. Thanks again. But yeah, moving on. So another segment that I want to dive into. This is going to be top GroupMe comments of this last Sunday and Monday. Now, there's going to be 2 sections. Section 1 is going to be judging the comment based on the currency of likes, which, if we're being honest, that's the only reason why any of us are playing fantasy football is the currency of likes. And then category 2 will be my personal favorites. So, running through them, very first one with 7 likes. When O'Malley, obviously we're talking about the Eagles-Washington game, and O'Malley comments, "Are you ready for some football, team?"
Great pause.
Well, I mean, there was ellipses in there, so you have to pause. But anyway, really like that. That got 7 likes. Adam posts a GIF of Josh Jacobs after he scores like second or third or 100 touchdown. I can't really remember what it was, but that in itself, just the GIF, got 8 likes. Bill, after our matchup was going really poorly, and again, no scoring notifications for me, and I think he was suffering much the same because I actually had the lead in our matchup for a while. Bill says, "Coin and buy are fighting for the first L, that's for sure."
I fucking love it. I love that.
7 likes for that one. Next one. So Bacon says, and this is after we have a conversation going back and forth on the GroupMe, and someone asks, like, "Where's Max?" Bacon says, "A guy his age might already be in bed." And to that I responded, Bacon texts from bed. 8 likes. So that was a good one. I'll pat myself on the back.
You got me giggling with that one.
Next one. A lot of GIFs made this list. When Weaver posted the "My eyes" GIF from SpongeBob, that fish whose eyes is just burning. That one got 7 likes. And that was in response to the Jonathan Taylor Thomas GIF.
Yeah, controversial.
That Adam posted, which, that was... You hate to see it.
Did Adam post that?
Yeah, I think so, because we were talking, he made a reference.
Yeah.
Maybe that was a reference. I, by the way, knew exactly who that was.
So did I.
My eyes were also burning.
O'Malley was in the minority.
Maybe he's just too young.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Too slow. O'Malley, were you allowed to watch TV when you were younger, or were you constantly climbing mountains or what?
He was learning Excel sheets, dude.
Oh, yeah, spreadsheets, aggressive takeovers.
He was learning how to win the deal.
Mergers and acquisitions.
Yeah, we're all watching the Disney
Channel.
Money
in, money out. Oh, man. Anyway, we're watching the Disney Channel.
Hostile takeover and lemonade stands.
Yeah, it's like 6-year-old O'Malley. Part of a hostile takeover.
Somehow doing push-ups.
Anyway, that My Eyes GIF got 7 likes. O'Malley... Next, got 7 likes for a GIF. I think it was Lieutenant Dan, or what is that? Was that guy's name from Reno 911? What's that lieutenant's name? Dangle. Lieutenant Dangle. That actor is saying, "I expected better from you." That was in reference to one of my "this dick" jokes, which I will say I put a few of them out there, and that was like a small percentage of the ones I wanted to put out there.
Yeah, I wanted to say you can turn this dick just earlier this podcast.
Yeah, do it. I love it. I thought when I said you can Yelp this dick, that was hilarious.
It is funny.
Yeah,
it's all funny.
But anyway, that was 7 likes from O'Malley in that one. This was a good one, again from Colin. If no one likes my bustin' makes me feel good GIF, I'm gonna bust.
So we called this. We knew that nobody was gonna like it, that bustin' GIF, until in the moment. Yeah, now that everybody had read that comment and liked it, nobody was gonna actually like the GIF until somebody caught up, and we actually called that it was gonna be Stu. Stu was away from his phone. We hadn't heard from him in a while. Mm-hmm. And then just out of nowhere, likes just started popping up on my screen and yours as well. And we're like, oh, fuck, here it comes.
Yeah,
here it comes in there.
So Stu was the first, but also Brad did the same thing later on. So that GIF, if you go back right now, has 2 likes.
Double down.
No busting for Gall. But I did like O'Malley's follow-up. Like, does he want to bust? Does he not want to bust? I'm so confused.
That's great. Yeah.
That was
For as bad
good.
as O'Malley is at fantasy, he's really good with quips.
Yeah, again, likes are the currency of the league. The group me.
He's got some money.
Pebbles commented, cute bromance you guys got going on right now with you and Adam going back and forth last night. That got 7 likes.
I was way into that.
Way into Adam. Later on in the night when Pebbles is lamenting all of his fantasy failures and terrible luck, he's like, I got the low score in 2 of my 12-team leagues, and I lost to a housewife that's got no knowledge of football, and I didn't draft from my den. Who knows what's happening? And I said, low score in your one and only league? 8 likes.
Loved it.
Somehow I'm crushing the likes for this. Yeah. And then finally, the last one was Bacon had the Dancing Will Smith gif for winning his shotgun bet with Stu. And that one was 7 likes, if I remember correctly. So
by a ridiculously close margin.
Right, yeah, less than half a point. And now we're still waiting for that shotgun.
I think Stu's probably waiting for a stat correction, to be honest.
I bet he's forgot. Or he's like hungover.
That's true.
Yeah. Or both.
Or both, yeah.
All right, so that was the currency of likes. Now, for me, the ones that I personally liked the most, Pebbles saying I'm 99% sure I can beat Witten in a foot race without ever running his beer mile yet. So there's actually no evidence that Pebbles can run at all. So how does he think he can beat an NFL tight end in a foot race?
I like this. This is just like Bill's girlfriend being dead.
That's just,
we haven't seen
where is the evidence?
Yeah.
What else did I like? I liked if the football team wins, what does that make the Eagles? And then we were all giggling here at the U because we thought maybe the football team would assume the Eagles nickname and then the Eagles become the Philadelphia football team, and there's this like cascade effect of who gets to be the football team. So that was really good. Also, Weaver posted a boner alert Batman gif that I really liked. Do you remember what that was in reference to?
I don't, but I remember being fired up about it.
Yeah, that was, again, just me. Really just loving it. And then last night, I loved Stu's comment. After all of us are talking about the bouquet and drinking the scotch, and we're sending Snapchats of the scotch, and then Weaver takes his shot after the game, and Stu says, goodness, I want some scotch now. So that was really good as well. So again, that's the Group Me segment. I think for next week, I'm just going to eliminate all the 7 likes, only do the 8s and above to cut it down. But I think it's fun to keep track of the best liked comments that we've had. But moving on, so next topic we're going to talk about is more murky or less murky. And so these are going to be situations that were going into the week that kind of was a toss-up coin flip. The information wasn't out there, a lot of conjecture. Obviously, the pundits are going to say what they're going to say, but until you actually see it happen on the field, you don't know. So first, we're going to have the Colts and the Niners running back situation. So going in was pretty murky. Obviously, Stu is super hyping up Jonathan Taylor Thomas. But we don't know between Marlon Mack and Hines and how that's all going to be happening. With Marlon Mack going down, Jonathan Taylor now has the job. So Scott, you win the lottery with drafting him. Although if you don't want him, we can talk because you put some comments saying that Stu had jinxed you in the group me. So that's how you feel. Let's talk, Buckaroo. And like the 30 minutes a day you have available, let's talk. And then the Niners running back situation.
Very clearly, Mostert was the man. He was the lead back. He looked great. He was doing great. He scored great. He is great. Tevin Coleman and McKinnon were just there to spell him, really. This may be the hot hand situation, but it really didn't feel like it. Like there was very different vibes throughout that game, and Mostert was the man for sure.
Yeah, I personally was avoiding any of the Niners running backs having Tevin Coleman last year, and he's been someone that, just like Marvin Jones, guys who I drafted years and years in a row, and then Coleman was super hot or cold. And I actually remember the Niners, were they playing the Ravens last year? We were at Stu's house watching the game happen, and I had Coleman in my starting lineup, and that's when Mostert took the starting job and literally ran away with it. Right?
Yeah, he's so good.
And so since then, and just how Shanahan is, I wasn't comfortable with McKinnon coming back. But yeah, kudos to Brad for diving in on Mostert because he fucking produced.
The heart and soul of the team, baby.
Next situation, the Ravens running back situation of Ingram and Frodo Dobbins.
More murky. What the fuck is going on there? Right? Like, is this a game script where the Ravens are up big, so they let the rookie carry on the goal line? Or are they actually considering him the goal line guy, and they're actually trying to get him carries, meaningful carries? Who knows now, right? Like Mark Ingram, I think he only got 9 carries or something ridiculous. So that shit's scary.
Yeah, everything I saw online was basically Ingram owners lamenting the pick.
Yeah.
So moving on, Jacksonville and James Robinson with Fournette getting cut. It's kind of up in the air. Robinson was named as the lead back, but a lot of people weren't really buying it. They wanted to see it happen in action. But like we talked about earlier, it's 16 carries, which was the most on the team.
Bell cow.
He is the bell cow there. So kudos to Pebs.
Yeah.
That situation is less murky.
On draft day, Adam drafted the guy that was supposed to be the starter, but he got COVID. Right? And so he's on COVID lockdown. So then this guy comes out of nowhere. He wasn't even drafted by a majority of fantasy football leagues.
Right.
Straight into a bell cow row.
Same with ours. This was a pickup off the waiver for Pebs.
Yeah. Huge pickup.
Next situation, which is less murky, is actually Atlanta and Gurley. We talked about how I tried to get him from Pebs earlier, and we talked about the negative game script for the running game for the Falcons. The Seahawks were just fucking them up. But the usage of Gurley was there, and watching him play, he seemed like he was running unimpeded, in my opinion. So although I think it was Ito Smith that got some work, Gurley's the guy, and he looks healthy to me. Next situation, Arizona and Edmonds and Drake. Now, this is up for debate, and the more I've looked into this, the maybe less murky it is because Drake did lead in carries, but Edmonds was super involved, and he scored the touchdown.
Yeah, he was... So there was a period of time where Kenyon Drake was hurt, right? He came out of the game for a drive or so. But Edmonds was called into third downs and they drew plays up for him.
Right. Yeah, it looked like he was not only taking snaps out of the backfield but lining up as a receiver. There's one point where they were both on the field at the same time.
Yeah.
So he was someone I was targeting in later rounds, and I'm happy to have him. Obviously, you can't sell the farm on 1 week, but I'm excited to see the usage that he's going to have.
Yeah. Could very well end up a 1A, 1B situation.
Right. So more murky there. Chargers, Eckler and Kelly. So Eckler, the Chargers did not have a good offensive game. They scored 1 touchdown. The touchdown was scored by Kelly. Eckler got more work, but Kelly got all of the goal line touches. And since the weekend, Anthony Lynn, who's the coach of the Chargers, has come out and said that they need to get Eckler the ball more. They need to create more plays for him. But coming into the weekend, there was a question of who was going to be the second back behind Eckler, whether it was going to be Justin Jackson or Josh Kelly. And I picked up Kelly speculatively on Saturday or Sunday morning because I was freaking out of Miles Sanders being injured. Side note, I wish I would have picked up someone else that did not. But anyway, the situation now is more murky in my mind because even though Lynn is saying that Eckler is the guy, Kelly got a lot of work and he got a lot of end zone work. And the Chargers offense did not look great, but against some shittier teams and even on the end zone, Kelly's going to get some work. So that situation is more murky in my eyes.
Yeah, I agree. All of your worst fears came true on Sunday.
Oh, for the Chargers?
Yeah.
And fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they got the W, but they didn't deserve to win for sure. They really did not. They played like dog shit. Tyrod Taylor, he looks like a pure game manager. And the Bengals were the worst fucking team in football last year. And we barely beat them. We should not have beat them. So, yeah, I'm expecting a rough year for the Chargers. Rams backfield, moving on. So Akers versus Brown. Now I have it on here as more murky, but it may not be that murky because Brown just fucking cock slapped the Cowboys.
Yeah, I didn't really want to disagree with you, but disagreements are good. They make for good conversation.
Right.
Malcolm Brown was the guy.
Right. I think so. Akers was the guy who was being like flaunted.
Yeah.
And so that's why I had it as more murky here. But yeah, he's another good waiver wire pickup. This one by Stu.
Fucking
the
Stu.
champ, unfortunately. But yeah, Brown went off on Stu's bench, so that's going to either be a great flex position guy or a great trade chip, whatever Stu decides to do with him.
Ever since Stu's been non-conventionally employed, he has been a fantasy powerhouse.
For real, dude.
Someone get that man a job.
Yeah,
says a guy who doesn't have a job.
Oh, what's your excuse, huh? We gotta get you some side gigs.
I have no excuse.
Play like a champion. Maybe you got outdrank by Stu, and that's what it was.
Impossible.
Impossible.
Maybe not impossible, but let's just say Monday morning I felt like I should have died. Anyway, the last in this segment, and maybe the most murky of it all, is will Scott make a waiver wire claim after taking the L? Now, since I wrote this outline out for the podcast, Scott has been active in the GroupMe, specifically about waiver wire things.
He did say things.
So yeah, he was active and he was inquisitive.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we'll see tomorrow morning what kind of pickups, if any, are made. But right now, it's more murky in my eyes.
I bet that he does make a move.
Well, yeah, now he probably does that. He's like asking and involved.
Mm-hmm.
But
you want to make a bet?
What do you want to bet? Yeah, what do you want to bet?
I don't know, like 50 push-ups to 20.
What? Wait,
Since he's active.
So I have 20 push-ups and you have 50.
Yeah. So if he does not make a move,
you do 50.
I
push-ups.
do 50.
Deal.
All right.
Yeah. Very good.
Cool.
I'll text him after this podcast.
Motherfucker. Collusion.
Okay. Next, moving on to things you hate to love to see.
Ah, yes, Nick Chubb. This is a guy who first round pick last year by Gall, which we all hated, but it turned out to pay off, right? And so once again, he was.
The Chubster was great.
Chubster was great, yeah. He should have been a second round pick. You took him in the first, could have had value, didn't. It's fine.
Will Myers coming up, basically.
But yeah, Nick Chubb, first round pick. You expect big things, and he vastly underperformed. You love that you didn't pick him, but you hate it for the person that did draft him. You dodged a bullet.
Yeah, so in this case, we're talking about Evan. Evan drafting Chubb. If you're Evan, you hate that he underperformed, but you'd love to see that someone like me, I love that I didn't draft him. Although, in this case, my first-round pick did dog shit too, so.
Yeah. So I hate to love to see both of your first-round picks underperform.
Next, things you hate to love to see. Pebble's multiple trade proposals to me, trying to get one of my receivers. So you gotta, if you're Pebbles, you just gotta hate it, right? Because he literally could have had Calvin Ridley for Gurley and didn't take it, right? I love it because I gotta keep Ridley, even though I tried to give him away for Gurley in my panic about not having a running back. I lost anyway. Miles Sanders looks to be coming back. And Pebbles doesn't have Ridley. So, you hate to love to see it.
But do you hate to love to see it?
You love to see it.
You love to see it, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I hate to love to see my trade proposal to him.
Okay. You proposed
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was Parker for Gurley or Ridley for Gurley.
Wow.
And he took neither of those.
Yeah.
And then the trade discussions fizzled.
Yeah, I would have been super shocked to see any trades happen before game one, right? Like, you drafted the guys that you wanted to draft, and you're going to get rid of them before you even see anything. Like, unless somebody's like, I really want this fucking player, you're going to give him to me, and I'm going to make it worth your while.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to trade you some big names, right? Like, Odell probably could have been a good trade option. But even then, he has such a big boom potential. Yeah.
Yeah, and all of us are very suspicious in nature towards each other, so trades are hard to come by.
Mm-hmm.
Next ones, you hate to love to see high-scoring matchups where one team must lose. So in this case, this week it was Evan. Evan had to take the L where, 9 teams scored below him. So you hate to love to see it. Oh, here's something that you hate to love to see, and this actually might be more just a hate to see, but I got to mention it, is Brian Edwards, the other rookie wide receiver on the Raiders, being the dap-up guy, dapping up his boys, and
he's always in the play.
Not being the guy doing the play.
Yeah, he's
what the
right
fuck,
there.
Brian Edwards? He was someone I was so excited to target in the draft, and he ends up with less than 2 points, and he's like the dap guy. I just hate to see it. And then the last one, things I hate you love to see.
Oh, man. Yeah, Colin being shook. Always. Yeah. Yeah. I hate, being mean to Colin, but I love when he gets shook, right? So in the draft, after almost every single pick leading up to his, he was just like, oh, God damn it. You just started muttering under his breath and just like, oh, I wanted that guy, right? Like, just... I hate that I'm like actively laughing at Colin for his like low moments, so to speak. Yeah, the vulnerability. But I also love to see it because it's just so funny.
I'm an animated guy.
I think animated guy. Like I'm reeling.
Definitely said I was shook.
I'm shook.
For sure.
Yeah, you definitely said you're shook mid-draft.
Oh no.
It's like
just kill me, Anna. Just kill me.
Just
of course.
kill me.
Yeah, just kill me.
2 years ago when Lamar Jackson was taken.
That might be the most shook I've ever been during a draft.
You were rocked
because Stu went Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson. It made no sense. Oh god, I was so after he didn't take Lamar the first round, I was feeling so good, and then when he took him, I was just
so bad.
Shook. Yeah, just. Shook.
Still shook.
The shookening.
Put an arm around.
We're shook to this day.
Let's move on.
All right, yeah. Let's get out of here.
So yeah, next we got picks for this week. So we're doing our picks. You want to start or shall I?
Sure. I'll start with my matchup versus Bill. I'm gonna bet on myself over Bill. We got a fun matchup: Metcalf versus Lockett, both versus New England. So we'll see how that works out. I think Metcalf is going to get the tougher cornerback draw, but that's always exciting. Matt Ryan is playing Dallas. Lamar Jackson is playing Houston. Both of those games could be just fun shootouts. You always bet on yourself. Fuck it. Let's go.
Yeah, so I actually agree with you. I think you are going to take down Bill. This one might be the matchup of the week. Basically, everything you said holds true to me. The shootout in Dallas with the Falcons is going to be fun. And then beyond that, eyes on Eckler and his usage. The Chargers are playing the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to be scoring lots of points.
That's low, yeah.
So you got to imagine Eckler's going to be catching some more passes out of the backfield. Hines, now that Mac is out of the picture, is going to have some increased usage for Bill. And on your side, question mark around Kittle. We saw what Juju can do, so that's going to be good. And yeah, so I agree. I think you're going to take down Bill. We'll go with my matchup now. So we got Max versus Gall, mix on, mix off versus the Prince of Hell Air, the only rivalry that survived the reshuffling.
He said bitterly with a bitter expression.
No, I love playing Max. I'm perfectly fine. I actually don't give a shit who my rivals are because I'm one of the best teams in the league anyway. But
I strongly want to argue with you, but you kind of are, yeah. How many?
The proof's in the pudding.
How many fourth place fedoras do you have?
I own no fedoras.
You look great in them. Yeah.
I don't know whose that is.
I
Also, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the matchup.
I do have to agree.
I think Max is going to beat me. I'm not going to bet on myself because my team is still reeling. Okay, I don't have a solid RB2 right now. Miles Sanders is still questionable at best. Not only that, Devontae Parker, who I was expecting big things out of, also questionable. Brandon Cooks, who I was trying to get as a steal, also questionable. Josh Allen's going to go ham against the Dolphins, so I know I'm going to get some points there. We talked about the Panthers and the DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson situation, so afraid about that. Shootout in Dallas against Atlanta, so Ridley probably should put up some points. But after that, a lot of question marks on my team, honestly. I mean, Tyler Boyd did not get the looks because of AJ Green. Fucking Mixon had a terrible game, so I'm not feeling that confident in this week. I need to see more out of my team, whereas Max has got Watkins against the Chargers. He's going to eat. Mike Evans, if he's healthy. Hilaire, again, against the Chargers. Like, he's just going to fucking eat from the Chiefs' points. He does have Connor, who is questionable, so he's going to have to either make some waiver wire pickup or lean on Fournette or Hyde. And then to top it off, he's got Mark Andrews, who had a huge game, and the Ravens are really good. So, yeah, I got Max winning against me.
I also have Max. Though this is before waiver wire is clear, so
that is very true.
It's a little bit sketchy, but his only question mark right now is John Connor. And he's got Leonard Fournette or Carlos Hyde to plug in. Both of those guys are better than your backup RBs, unfortunately. So, yeah.
You think Hyde is better than Edmonds?
Okay, yeah. I'll eat crow on that one.
Also, Fournette, like he scored like 1.5 points, if that, last weekend.
Yeah.
The Bucs were very obviously featuring Ronald Jones in that game.
2.4. Yeah. But Fournette's been with the team for a week. Give him 2 weeks. I think he starts to take. I think the natural talent. Rojo's been supposedly the guy for 2-3 years now, and he just can't get anything going. Fournette has the potential to be a top 5 guy. I think his natural talent takes over. It just takes him a little bit to learn Bruce Arians' protection schemes, probably.
You think Fournette will finish as a top 5 running back?
No, but I would bet that Fournette would finish higher than Rojo, certainly.
Okay. I think we agree there. I'm just not sold on his usage at this point, so
certainly.
I wouldn't put him or Hyde above Edmonds, is what I'm saying, given what we watched on Sunday.
That's fair.
But in any case, I do think he's going to beat me. My team has some holes, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So next up, we got Pebs and Stu. This could be a fun one because two teams that on paper should be pretty closely matched, but we all witnessed Peb's implosion and corresponding deprecation. What am I looking for?
Deprecation, for sure. Defecation?
You didn't get that snap?
Shitting himself?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No, anyway. So
I must have terribly missed that. How did I?
So anyway, in this matchup, McCaffrey's going to have so much. Carson, I like him against New England. Waller, too. We didn't talk about him on this pod at this point, but Waller was targeted a lot in that Raider game too, and that probably is going to be a shootout as well. Although, that could be a sneaky defensive play for Scott using the Saints against the Raiders.
Yeah. We've seen Derek Carr do terrible things.
Yes, we have. I think it just comes down to a bunch of question marks on Pebble's team, right? Like Keenan Allen, although that game script probably will lean towards him. Gurley probably in a shootout. Barkley underperformed, but is playing the Bears, who gave up a bunch of points. Adrian Peterson ran all over them, which was cool to see. He's got Boston Scott in his flex against the Rams currently. Yeah, I think I think both teams will perform more to what they're expected to, but I still think Stu has the stronger team at this point.
Yeah, I agree completely.
So we're just having all the same picks, Ben, is basically. So we're just going to have every single same pick for the rest of the year, and then I'm just going to win by 3 points.
To quote you, I think all 3 of these have been softball picks. Except for mine versus Bill. But I didn't want to not pick myself.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm not going to pick Bill just because you picked me.
Well, you already made your picks anyway, so
I know.
you can't change your pick.
You can't change your pick.
You cannot change your pick. All right, let's check out Adam and Scott. What do you think about this one?
Adam and Scott. I'm going with my boy Adam. Scott is missing Michael Thomas. I don't want to give you my logic now. We should pick our picks independently.
I already have my picks. They're in this paper, which I shared with you.
True. Yeah.
So if anything, you had my picks before.
I didn't look. God.
Continue. What else is your logic?
That's it. Michael Thomas is out.
Well, my logic is Devontae Adams was huge. Jacobs was huge for Adam. Interesting to see what David Johnson can do against Baltimore, because that's going to be a...
Josh Jacobs and
defense.
David Johnson both have tough defensive matchups, for sure. But I just think that Scott not having Michael Thomas and not having a reliable... Golden Tate, Curtis Samuel, are they going to do anything? No. 6.8 points, did not play. He's going to have to make some moves on the waiver wire and hope for
He
a
does
lot of
have
tickets.
Jonathan Taylor-Thomas in the featured role now. Took 1 week. Although on the counter point to that, he has Mark Ingram in the running back controversy.
Right, going up against J.J. Swat.
So, yeah. Well, I also have Adam. Not only what we've already talked about, but A.J. Green got a lot of look from Joe Burrow's 9 targets, 51 yards. He also had a touchdown that was called back because of a push-off. So I think Burrows is looking for A.J. Green. So that's going to be a sneaky pick for Adam this year, I think. So, yeah, Adam over Scott. That's what I have.
Another cool thing about Adam's team, he's got Jerry Jeudy, who was featured for the Broncos. He had a lot of drops, but he did look good. And we all know he's the best route runner in the league. So
Oh, my God.
that shit is
I don't
pretty
care if he
cool.
hasn't played a game. He's one of the best route runners in the league. God damn it.
Yeah. You hate to love to see Marlon back, not on your roster, but being out for the season. Sorry, Adam, about that, but you seem to have had a phenomenal draft. I think that you're back to your 2017 form.
Dude, he's got Pittman, too.
Yeah,
Which didn't do much, but another rookie to keep note
a
of.
lot of good players on Adam's team. I think this one is going to be a drubbing.
I'm interested to see how Wentz does because, 13 points is not good in your first game, and the Rams gave Dak some issues this past week.
Yeah.
So, and Wentz was one of those quarterbacks who was being championed by pundits before the draft as someone who was still in that upper tier, but you could get a little later.
Yeah, that shit is so crazy to me. How did they not know that the O-line was in shambles, right?
Not only that, but half the receiving core is injured.
Yeah, what?
Although they did feature both tight ends in the game against Washington.
It's true, they did. But yeah, that kind of stuff makes me just really ruffles my feathers.
It grinds your gears.
Yeah, grinds my gears. Grievance's grinder.
Okay, so we're in agreement that Adam is taking down Scott.
All right.
All right, what matchup do you want to go to next?
We'll go Brad versus Bako.
Okay.
I'm going to look at it real quick.
Sure.
God.
Well, for me, I have this actually as my matchup of the week.
Cool.
Both teams that had great week ones. I think they're both exciting rosters. I mean, just to go through what we talked about, Rodgers did great for Brad. Fuller is obviously the wide receiver 1. Both Kamara and Mostert did phenomenal, and I think they both are going to have great weeks this week because of the lesser competition they have. Kamara is playing the Raiders. Mostert playing the Jets. The Jets are fucking terrible, so I'm sure he's going to feast.
Yeah.
Kelsey, so that's a fun thing to watch, the Kelsey versus Kittle battle. Another Chief that's probably going to absolutely dominate the Chargers. John Brown on Brad's team, who we haven't talked about yet, but is still one of Josh Allen's favorites. I mean, had 6 receptions for 70 yards and a touchdown on 10 targets for 16 points. So Brad's team is looking good. And on the other side, we got Bacon, where Tyreek Hill playing against the Chargers. Emmanuel Sanders now is in that lead wide receiver role now that Michael Thomas is down. Henry's going to be playing Jacksonville, so he's going to eat. It's just going to be a good matchup. Honestly, I think 2 teams that some of us were kind of making fun of after the draft, but they both had phenomenal week 1s. And, yeah, it's the matchup of the week in my eyes. And I have a Brad over Bacon, by the way. That's my pick. Brad's going to take down Bacon.
I'm gonna go with the upset of the week. I like that you called it the matchup of the week. I completely agree. Part of me thinks this is another David versus Goliath matchup, and I think that Bacon might be able to keep it going. He's just got this cue for Jarvis Landry. But yeah, I think that this is going to be a fun one, and this might be a Monday night W for Brad with Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara could
and Bacon's got Sanders going.
Yeah, I think that this one will come down to Monday night. Yeah, I'm excited to keep tabs on this matchup for sure, and in the interest of gaining games on you, I'm gonna choose Bacon.
You didn't already have your picks done before we did this?
No.
So I was revealing my picks, and then you're just
That's why I was
choosing on the
first.
fly?
Yeah. But I actually chose Bacon before you revealed. I was relieved that you chose Brad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, all right. Yeah, match for the week. And the only matchup that we have different. But we got one more left. Yeah. We got O'Malley's versus
another softball.
Ev.
Fucking...
Why don't you go first?
Yeah. God damn it. I mean, I love Evan's team, so I'm going to go. I got to go with Evan. I've said it 1,000 times. And I'll say it again. It'll be interesting to see how Chubb does in week 2. Hopefully, the Browns can beat up on the lowly Bengals. Cookie Crisp needs to decide whether or not he's going to keep rolling Kendrick Bourne out there. He has 2 empty slots on his roster, so he's clearly going to be making some moves. We'll see. Yeah, the Carlos Sutton injury early really hurts.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, what's his little blurb?
Broncos hope he can do more by the end of the week.
He's fucked.
He's fucked. And it's a shoulder injury. I tried to play Frisbee with a shoulder injury.
And he had to go to the hospital. Yeah.
There's no way he's going to be able to survive getting beasted on by people.
O'Malley could throw the Mecole Hardman dart out there. I mean, he's playing the Chargers. I've mentioned it so many times, but it only takes like one 75-yard bomb to make it a worthwhile week.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And Evan does have Rojo, who I've been talking mad shit on. How did I not notice that pick? What the hell? I'm sticking to my guns, so I still love your team. You got room. It's nice to have some shitty players on your team so you can make moves on the waiver wire, right? You don't want to be like Scott's team last year and just feel comfortable or decent with your team, and so you don't want to drop anybody.
Yeah, but then you just comfort your way to 7th place.
Yeah, then you just don't make any moves and you just suck. You miss out on the Phillip Lindsay pickup.
Right. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to a lot of action happening tonight. I'm excited to see how the dust settles.
I think it's going to be a brutal waiver wire this week.
I agree that Evan is going to take down O'Malley's. Beckham. I think that Browns-Bengals game is going to be really shitty. I think both teams are I think the Bengals are going to win, honestly.
Joe Burrow is going to find a way.
I really do. I mean, this is going to be a bad Thursday night game.
But I'm going to watch every fucking second of it.
I mean, fantasy, come on.
Yeah, well.
And the currency of likes. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But, going through it, again, it sucks for O'Malley that Sutton is out. That's someone who I wanted in the draft. And didn't get him, and now that's like one of those same things. You hate to love to see it. Someone on someone else's team be unavailable. Although, like, who among us hasn't had that happen to them? I guess Evan's team is unscathed to this point. But yeah, I mean, Mahomes against the Chargers, Cooper in a shootout with the Hawks, Slayton now being the number one, the Giants, Robbie Anderson having that huge role, Chubb against the Bengals. Like, Evan's team is set for success. I think Matt Stafford did underperform. I know I talked about it on the last podcast, and I like his potential for the season. And Hopkins had the great game on Sunday. So O'Malley's team isn't terrible, but I do think that Evan's team is just better. So I have Evan winning this one.
Gosh. Yeah. I'm annoyed that I picked 5 of the same matchups as you.
They were just so alike.
They're just...
Great minds think alike.
Then, yeah. Whew, I wish that my fantasy team historically performed as well as yours.
It's great because then you and I are going to have extra motivation and eyes on the Brad versus Bacon matchup because that will decide who gets the game up.
The week. Should we have weekly, pour a bucket of water on other person for water bets or whatever?
You wanna bet a bucket of water pour on the Brad and Bacon game?
No. Oh, I guess that's what it would come down to.
Right. I'm down. Let's do it.
How many bets have we made this?
I know. That's why I was chuckling. Is because
drinking way too much.
Yeah, let's do it. Bucket of water. Okay. I got Brad. You got Bacon. It'll be decided on Monday night, and we'll show the boys.
Stand above the fire pit.
Somewhere. There's a lot of ash that's gonna pop up.
That's true. Yeah. Good call.
Maybe in the crop. It's nice.
Can we make it lukewarm, not cold?
Just hose water.
Hose water. Yeah. Fuck it.
There's a hose out.
All right. I'm in.
All right. Any closing remarks?
Oh, man, I love this. I'm stoked that we're back. Thanks for doing a lot of legwork on some fun facts. We're deep in it. The people are not going to like it.
No, they're going to like it. We're all clamoring for content. This is good.
Clamoring for content. Yeah, agreed. My new work life is pretty dope. I'm so hyped on it that I like to talk about it. I ordered a monitor to, just set up my battle station. It's supposed to arrive in October 22nd. It showed up today. That's awesome.
Is it battle station set up? Is it ready, good to go?
Not yet. So now I have a problem where I got a monitor from work, and that thing was huge. It was like 26 inches or something crazy. And so now I have too many monitors for my little space. And so now I got to do some tomfoolery.
Put one on the wall.
Yeah.
HDMI.
So now I have this electric desk that I can move up and down. So everything has to be attached to it so it can move with
I'm just saying, don't even attach it to your work shit. Just put it up on the wall somewhere.
No, and so that's the problem is if I'm sitting low and I've got it up high, then it's way up high.
I'm talking about in bed watching tunes or Chromecast to this thing.
More tunes.
Or something, yeah.
Yeah, throw it up on the dresser. It's out of the battle station. We'll see, yeah. Anyway, tinkering.
We're getting out of here. That's week 1 wrap. This is the People's Podcast, Frisbee Touchdown Edition.
People's Podcast.
Good luck to everybody except for my opponent, Max.
Yeah. Yeah, and Bill. Fuck you, Bill.
Peace.